Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha Vairagya Prakarana, section 15. Remember the setting. Vishwamitra has gone into the palace of King Dasharatha for seeking assistance of Rama and Lakshmana in his project of performing yajna. And he asks King Dasharatha to give his dearest sons to help his project. King Dasharatha in the beginning becomes shocked by that request. Later, advised by Vasishtha, Rama is brought before, and the general idea is that Rama is internally so reflective that it wouldn't be possible for Rama to assist Vishwamitra. And Rama is presented before Vasishtha and Vishwamitra and all royal sages. And where he is asked, what is bothering you, O Rama? They didn't use the same statement. Rama has started giving insight into imperishable nature of the world process. And he presents a form of vanity behind all things of this world, like mirage. The world is a mirage. But as Rama describes the nature of the world, in his description, you find profound answer to the problem. General saying is, intelligent questions contain their answers in them. So, listen to his question and the way he is describing the world and try to gain insight, profound insight. Presently, the topic is egoism, the vanity of egoism. Ego is called aham. Egoism called ahamkar. Put it in a more humorous way. The self within you doesn't need any car. But led by ignorance, the self has developed different modes of car. The body car, the mind car, the intellect car. The car that can lead the soul to different lokas. With the body car, it faces the loka. With your mind and senses, you enter into subtle loka, the loka of the world of feelings. And with your intellect, And ego, you go into still another level, car that leads you to unravel the mystery of your understanding. So that's ahamkar. Ahamkar has created all this world process, the entire bhava vyadhi, disease of the world process. It becomes a great project for every aspirant to understand that the world experience is a means to an end, speaking in ordinary language. It is not an everlasting phenomenon. And depending upon the world is a vyadhi, is a disease. If you are swasth, health in English, in Sanskrit is swasth. Swastha means swa means self. Stha, abide in the self. You abide in the self, you are healthy. But you are abiding in transient objects. In other words, you are identified with the object of the world. Put it in a very simple way. Sun as it is the healthy sun. And is beyond your perceptions of the sun. No matter how does it look to you, that's not real sun. The sun in its own state is healthy. That's the sun. But there are countless suns. Wherever there is water, and there is a sun in it shining. But all those suns are sick. They are bhava vyadhi grast. So all the self is like the sun. That's the real I am. That's the reality in every individual. But the self, as you understand it, is a reflected sun, reflecting in the mind. And mind has been fashioned through karmas of many lives. And this disease, first to understand the enormity of the disease, led by the disease of bhava vyadhi, you are experiencing time, space, and causation. You are experiencing the vast history of this Earth planet. I will not lead you into that direction. All that I am trying to tell you that the world before you is beyond your imagination. In this advanced age of technology, your computers give you good idea. Google can present to you millions of data within a moment. And behind all those data, the computer is just quiet. All the data that comes is not the reality. Your mind can present millions of data through the vrittis, thought waves of your mind. Now let me enter into the topic. Rama has been describing the vanity of egoism. O sage, when the cloud of ahamkara gathers, intensifies, the creeper of craving, it is a thorny creeper, that gives strange flowers, flowers that don't waft fragrance. But this creeper gives lots of thorns. So led by ahamkara, your life experiences lots of miseries. When the cloud of ahamkara calms down, the lightning flash of craving disappears. All the rumble and thunder that you see in a cloud, all that disappears when the cloud itself has been dissolved. In the same way, ahamkar comes like a cloud, which does not have a permanent reality. Cloud doesn't have permanent reality in the sky. But while it is there, it creates amazing world of unimaginable adversity as well as prosperity, joy and sorrow. Just as a cloud thunders, mind thunders in the mountains like Vindhya mountain of ahamkara, ego. Mind and ego, understand there are four aspects of antahakarana. Chitta is unconscious. Buddhi, that aspect of mind that rationalizes. Ahamkara, that's the basis for developing sense of me and mine. This is me, these things are mine. And manas. Manas is a conscious mind that is constantly picking up information, perceptions of the world through the senses. The mind goes on picking up perceptions. Intellect goes on rationalizing them, evaluating them, and waits for guidance from the ego. Ego puts the finger, don't drop it, don't look into it. Go this way. Led by ego, you filter out your experiences and summarize them and store them in your unconscious. If the quality of ego is not pure, then you draw from the world wrong evaluations, misconceptions, and store them in your unconscious. So whenever we are talking about ahamkara, mind, manas, chitta, buddhi, they are all interrelated. So when ahamkara swells up, mind is described like a great elephant, eager to have a big battle. And not knowing what to battle against, the elephant breaks down rocks after rocks, fights against them. It's a mad elephant, see? A trumpeting elephant. Ichor dripping into from his neck is a kind of a intoxicating substance. That's what ego does. The rising of the ego is the severity of the disease of the world process. Diminishing of the ego, removing the ego, that's a big project in a spiritual process. In this great forest of the physical body, it's a physical body implying the practical reality of the world. It's like a big forest. In that forest, Ahamkar goes on wandering, the big lion, mad, not knowing what to do. And while Ahamkara wanders in vain, karmas continue to increase. Good karmas, virtue and vice. When we talk about good karma or virtuous karma, positive karma, negative karma, you have to understand both types are relative karmas. None of the two leads you to liberation. Negative karmas will give you negative results, painful consequences. Positive karmas will give you prosperous conditions. But conditions do not define your spiritual progress. Your spiritual progress is defined by the state of your ego. If your ego gets swollen, inflated, then you are being attacked by the disease of the world process in a very severe manner. Outwardly, it may appear that you are very rich, prosperous, very likable. You may have also enjoyed being liked, and so you create a whole group of people who like you. And you create also a foxy mind, how to threaten people in a way that they have to like you, they have no choice. This whole process is a demoniac process. This has been brought into scriptures in a profound way. For example, Pratapabhanu was a great king, very virtuous, ruler of a great country, and led by circumstances, his enemies created a situation that he wanders in the forest and comes face to face with his terrible enemy, who is acting like a sannyasi. All this is a trap for him. And there he is trapped because this fraud sannyasi praises him a lot. And he becomes so fascinated that he says, "Give me blessing, give me boon." He says, "Whatever you ask and will be given to you." Instead of asking for liberation, what does he ask? He asks, "May I be the most powerful person forever." Try to understand virtue. In spite of his being so virtuous, his ego had remained completely dull wit. So, this is a subtle point the masses cannot easily understand. Moral of all that, being virtuous is always good. But along with your virtue, you must develop love of God. And any success that you experience should bring about humility. If your heart does not enjoy humility, self-effacement, then you are creating disease of the world process. So therefore, Rama is in that state of sensitivity. He presents himself as an ideal aspirant. That he is not satisfied with living with the ego. Just as a deceptive person, a cheat, a thief, gets hold of, steals pearls and puts them together in a mala and wears it as if it is his own. In the same way, ahamkara creates a mala where beads are birth and death, cycle of birth and death, janam parampara. So many embodiments of yours are woven by the thread of craving. And ego is wearing it. Most of it is hidden. Only one pearl appears. This terrible enemy, ahamkara, egoism, exercises a demoniac power. The demoniac power that is not like the power received by mantras and tantras, but it's a demoniac magic. And what does that power do? It creates moha sakti, a deluded love towards family, friend. The Sanskrit words are putra, mitra, kalatra. Tra is everywhere. Tra relates to three aspects of relative consciousness. When you dream, three things are faulty. The dream subject is not real. Otherwise, you pay all your debts in your dream. Dream world is not real. Or your dream experiences of pleasure and pain have no basis. Similarly, the world you exist in has the same fact. What you know about yourself, your identity, this is me, you don't know it. People go after finding who they are. Go into the finding the source. I'm talking about father, forefather, and so forth. And they try to relate themselves to Napoleon and Washington. King Janaka, who knows? So your I am, your identity concept is completely wrong, and you go on changing your attitude to your I am. That's one point. The world that you are experiencing, that's not a matter of giving something to you for you to believe. It is scientific fact that the world is not being experienced by you as the world is. The sky is not blue, but you enjoy it. The earth is not calm, it's just like a spacecraft. I'm just giving a few examples. All your senses are just limited to your human embodiment. Different embodied creatures experience, they have different powers in their senses. Animals are able to smell things that are 6 miles away without difficulty. So, all that you're experiencing, the world that you are experiencing, that world has no reality. Because this depends upon your sense perceptions. What you think of the world, that's real. Interacting in the world, always, if this situation had come, I would be so happy. And so forth, joy and sorrow based upon worldly situations. You miss a plane and feel very frustrated. Later on, you hear the plane was collapsed. Then you become very happy. I'm joking. Face an adversity and you feel profoundly stressed. Survive the adversity with strength and you feel very proud. When you are writing your biography, you will write those adversities more than your prosperities. So, all these three, seer, seen and sight, subject, you are subject, the world is field of object, and then your experiences, all the three improve when in a family there comes putra, putri, son or daughter. They improve, you don't get enlightenment. Improve or change can be positive or negative depending upon what type of relation you have. Similarly, mitra, a friend makes changes in all three stages, a friendly relation. You can take it in a very simple friendliness, or you can take it into a bigger understanding. The entire world can be viewed as friend. Friendly attitude towards all. And kalatra. Kalatra refers to many moha-based. Moha is deluded affection. All relations based on a deluded type of attachment. It's called kalatra. The English word is clutter. Comes from the same source. Not cluttered up. Too much attachment. When ahamkar is rooted out, all these mental problems disappear. So therefore, whether it is achieved gradually, step by step, or in a speedy process, removal of ahamkar is the goal of every individual. O sage, Rama is talking to Vishwamitra and Vasishtha. I know that the real I am is not the ego. But that knowledge is not assimilated. I know that I am not the ego, and yet I'm unable to separate myself from the ego. I'm experiencing all the miseries of the world due to folly. Therefore, O sage, take this folly away. Give me the proper instruction. I do not want to allow this ahamkara to stay in my heart. I don't want to give me a rental. Come stay in my heart. Due to my vivek, discriminative insight, I understand egoism and all its evils. I have no doubt about it. So therefore, please give me that instruction which will sweep ego away forever. So while Rama is asking the question, you must realize all the insight you are getting about the ego. The question has its answer in it. In 16th section, the same is extended to Chitta and Manas, which are all, as I explained to you, 4 aspects of the same mind: intellect, ego, Chitta, and Manas. O sage, Sri Rama said, serving great sages, in simple terms, satsanga, is a gateway to liberation. This is the statement from the scriptures. Great aspirants attained spiritual success by performing service rendered to their guru. Without this spirit of service, the impurities of the heart cannot be removed. This chit, the unconscious, filled with countless impressions, that's chit. But in day-to-day language, people say, my chit is chanchal. See, unconscious is beyond your awareness. But in popular language, even the conscious mind is described as chit. Mera chit chanchal hai. My chit, implying my mind is just wandering everywhere. It's not restless. It's restless. In other words, mind and chitta, they are sometimes synonyms. This chanchal chit, chanchal means shaky. How chanchal? Think of the feathers of the peacock. How they shake. In one moment they spread it all over. By the time you want to watch it, it's wrapped. It's constantly wandering, and mind is always fickle. Mind goes on wandering like a street dog. All it is interested in having food and grab it. Whether food is impure or pure, it doesn't care. People who possess impure mind, they are possessing dushta chitta, wicked mind. Led by the wicked mind, in spite of all their attainments, they remain degraded, in despair, miserable, deenheen, poverty-stricken, and a sense of profound humiliation. All this should not affect you. You must realize everyone suffers from these. But to what extent have you worked upon it? By your good karma, that's the message behind it. A disease has to be recognized as disease. Simply because it is not running away, you should not make it a fashionable characteristic. So that's the specialty of an aspirant. You are not eager. Come to a state, say, oh, I have controlled all my disease. Kundalini has already come up to here. And Anahat and Hadi is singing all the time. Don't fall for those statements. All these characteristics will continue as long as you live, even if you are enlightened. But the difference will be, if you are enlightened, these negatives will be like waves, and you will be the ocean. So you are not affected by them. But if you are not, then you are wave in the midst of waves, and you are constantly interacting and shaken. And all the attainments, even firstly to attain things you want, is not an easy job in this world. But when you start attaining it, prosperity after prosperity, your attainments are like trying to fill a basket with water. And a basket is made out of bamboo sticks. In other words, it's porous. So no matter how much water comes, it just flows out. Chitta has seen and enjoyed thrill after thrill through countless embodiments. If I say 100 times, it seems a million times, trillion times. How much can you digest it? But instead of going into all that, try to understand within your own lifetime how many times you have gained things that are thrilling and you are very happy. But what has happened to that happiness? It hopped away. Chitta is just empty. If you bring in your life love of God, then all the holes in your basket are going to come sealed by a magical sealing stuff. You will find yourself inundated with joy. A deer that has been separated from its group of deer, it remains threatened by so many things. Mind fettered by delusive desires that are like mirage, like water. Mind going after mirage. That mind doesn't enjoy real peace and happiness. O sage, because of its shaky nature, mind is constantly causing injury to physical and subtle bodies of every personality. That is a simple fact. If you hold mental stress, you will become even little angry. The oxygen that has flushed your face makes you shine, runs away from you. Teeth become tight. Brain creates a stress in itself, so it has a physical injury. And then there is subtler injury. Even when adversity has gone away and you have handled it in a negative way, you handle it by your anger and hate and revenge and jealousy and so forth, even though the trouble has gone away, but the way you handle it, impressions has gathered in your unconscious. If you handle it with cruelty, the source that gives you tenderness in your heart, that source has become blocked. So you are injuring your subtler level. This point is a vast topic and people have to understand that. your thinking, feeling, what type of expectation, the attitude of your mind. They influence your physical body. They create your karmas. They put you in different circumstances. Mind is constantly running as if it is involved in churning the ocean. But nothing comes out of that churning until you learn the art of meditation. And mind becomes exhilarated when there is expectation for sense pleasures. But sense pleasures present a predicament of being caught in a swirling undercurrent for whirling of the ocean, whirlpool. And mind is trapped into the ocean that is filled with sharks. The Sanskrit was the magar. Magar is described as crocodiles or sharks or whatsoever. But the word itself is interesting. When you say so many things, wonderful things you are saying, but then someone say, magar. Magar means but. I was by the airport. And so wonderful. Everything is so wonderful. It's described for 1 hour. But the plane didn't come. So all your good is drowned. That's the nature of the world. You have gotten all wonderful things, but you are mortal. Remember the children's story of the horse seller. Goes to an Arabian merchant from a long distance to find the best horse possible. And he welcomes this customer for the horse and he goes on describing for one whole hour what a wonderful horse he has. From the toes to the head, to the manes and the tail and all aspects. Oh, I'm fascinated by your horse. Is there any difficulty? He said, but the horse is dead. Describe a person who has been very happy and prosperous. Say, oh, you describe so many things, a big volume of his life. But he passed away. So with this I'm going to conclude. But time is over. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.